own. Huh? The 14 pound, got 7,000 pound. It's got toolbox on it, right there.
Let me run this out of the truck. So we got it?
I have it. I didn't see what was all it is. I don't know, that's one of the explained. The heaviest thing you're gonna put on there is a the little one, it weighs 1,700 pounds. So what's that?
7,000 pounds, 10 pounds, 2 rails, 1 plate,
Rug rails is that
Yes.
side on here.
so it doesn't tilt all the way, it's up there.
Yeah, you got a 4-foot.
Yeah.
6-foot.
How long is that?
Hey, I still use it now.
It's the best one I
You know,
know. Put those in those places.
I think it on mine.
You wanna look this good?
Yeah. This one on the left?
One right.
On the right.
7,000. It's got a toolbox in there. And it's a 2082, twin good. Was a little more than that. Yeah, that's my good. You better go to paperwork.
In the process of being the secretary.
All right. You got everybody one of those? Getting them. Get everybody one of those. Once we get through the meeting, we can fill them out before we go home tonight. That way we can get on started, just get everybody. You got that, Jimmy? We'll fill those out after the meeting, turn those in to Brenda. We'll go ahead and get started here though before we. All right, are we rolling on the recording and camera, Chris?
All you gotta do is turn your.
I'll turn them on. They're on.
Microphone on.
They're on.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. All right, let's go ahead and get started tonight. Alan, you want to open us in prayer?
Dear God, thank you for your mercy and your kindness. Thank you for treating us for your doing what you good. Thank you for all the blessings. Thank you for your city's work tonight.
Flag's over here tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call. Terry Green.
Here.
Jimmy Clark.
Here.
Chris Fuller. Al Moore.
Here.
Everybody's present. Okay. Have your minutes in front of you. We do not have financials this month because the accountant hadn't got here yet. He won't get here till the 29th, so he's gonna be the end of the month before he gets last month's done. So the next month we may have 2 months, but we don't have, December's is what you should have before you, and we don't have them here because he hasn't got here yet.
I'll make a motion to approve them as presented.
Have a motion by Jimmy Clark to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a second? Alan seconded. All in favor? Roll call, please. Terry Green.
Aye.
Jimmy Clark.
Aye.
Chris Wood.
Aye.
Alan Moore.
Here.
All in favor. All right. The next set of paperwork is nothing to vote on. It is your sales tax. As you know, we redid the sales tax bond. And Brenda's gonna have to help me explain this. We've talked to the lawyer, and we talked to the lady. Right now, the agent that's holding the money is holding all the money. Till she gets, lawyer's going, she's already said, huh? We just got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, coming up here.
Okay, we just received this, we read it because it's
Hmm.
farmer.
You got 2 copies there?
they put it in general fund account, and so this is the one balance of the 1 cent tax, and this is what the balance is of the now, if you show that the tax amount. The first one I started with is the balance that is due us of the 1 cent tax. I got all of it. And remember, in December, we got the street, so we transferred that to street. The December taxes that we get at the end of January is what we're gonna be doing. The half percent for this first, and I think there's a type of tax for that showing,
This is just for the quarter, right?
this is for two quarters.
Two quarters, okay, I got it.
Our balance for two quarters, and this is just a quarter cut.
Right.
The state says that,
Yours is right here.
okay. The state sent us, the other quarter, at the end of December, we really saw that, and we went ahead and sent that to street. This is November, that was at the end of December. And we went ahead and got that at the end of December, and that was transferred to street. That was the last of all this stuff. Now we're starting with the new sales tax, which all went to William. And so therefore, we're gonna have to transfer, but anyway, we're gonna have to transfer,
There's this one.
this has been transferred to us, and this was this November disbursement and December, we should get a month late. It's
That ends
now-
up being the one I think.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
This is it right here? Yeah, please. I think this is it right here.
Jimmy, if you'll come up here, I'll count it.
Go here and let both of us look at this.
Okay, I got this, we got it.
Yeah, you talk louder, they can hear you.
Okay. Come on up here, I'm not loud. Okay, this is, it gets transferred from the trust company into our general fund. That's where all our state funds come into. Well, she transferred this in February. This is the 1 cent sales tax, and this is the half a cent sales tax. I get a report every month. This was November, that would get the end of December. And this is December, would get the end of January. Well, this one was transferred to the general fund automatic, because this is the end of 2003, which went with the old bond. So it went ahead and went straight into street fund. This amount was sent to the bond company. This is their account, and this amount was sent to the bonds company. That's the 1 cent sales tax. And December's was sent to the bond company. That's the half a cent. So, right here is where she transferred it to. She's been on vacation, gone. So she said she didn't instruct her people to do this, so that's why we're getting it late. But we will start getting it transferred to us after they do their ratios of how much they keep. Now, I just got this, so in here in y'all's packet, here's our bonding payment. And this is, she said, I'm just averaging it because you have a payment due in May, and it's a little bit more this quarter because I've had to do one extra payment
Right.
to make the payment.
Correct.
So there won't be as much dispersed out starting the next
Okay, so
quarter.
what was that this right here, the 34 was the half or the cent?
The 34 is the half of a cent just for December that we received end of January.
And the 119?
No, that's the half a cent is the 34.
Okay,
The 1 cent is the 119. Now, that's 2 months that they have held.
okay.
But she is the only one that is doing this right now, so they had to wait till she got back to do the ratio of how much she needs to keep for our loan payment and how
Correct.
much of the 1 cent we get moved back into water and sewer. This will go into water and sewer. Now, this,
This isn't gonna be any different than it was, other than they've held their money for 2 months. I just want y'all to be aware that we haven't got our money for 2 months, but she is getting it because the lady's gotten back off vacation. So, she's gonna keep her money. The actual amount that you had to have in reserve, they transferred from the old account and gave it to them, so they don't need to hold any money in reserve, but this lady hadn't been there to get all of her paperwork put together. The reserve money that we had on the old bond didn't go to pay on the old debt, it's moving to them, and they'll have, our reserve account is filled. We don't need to put it, and she thought she had to fill a reserve account when she first got it, but that money's coming to her. So if it's not, we have to get with a lawyer, I don't know if she's got that, but the reserve money that was on the old bonds is gonna go to the reserve money to the new bank.
right, if you will see the monthly statements, they're on, I've got them on the back, y'all will just have to take them and study them.
Okay.
And you'll see where she kept the 27,000 for their part, and then out of those two, 1 cent sales tax, and then sent us the 119,228.
Okay.
That will all be on, she'll scan that in, this will all be in the minutes, so you can look at it more. If you want a copy of it, it's gonna be on the internet.
Well, we
It's quick.
can't scan this.
I can't scan some of this because
We
it's got,
can't
our
scan
account
their
numbers.
statements in because it's our account number.
You can block it out.
We'll have to redact it.
she'll fix that though. We'll get that in there.
But I can't give y'all one right now, I've got to redact it. But anyway, I've got my tape running, I left it at the office, according to what y'all set up on the,
Percentage to move to
percentage.
each one.
And I left it over there. But if y'all want to come by and I will show you the tape, and I ran my percentage just a while ago. So, that'll be what we leave in general funds with the different departments, and then part of it gets transferred. to
Yes.
street. But the auditors and the accountant will see our disbursement each month to appoint each one to each department. Does that make sense?
It won't be any different than it
No,
was.
but you won't see a big amount being
Yes.
sent to each department, but you will see each month. I think it was 827 for animal control and, the park out of this money.
Right.
And then the street gets so much, and then the police get so much. But if y'all come by the office Monday, I'll kind of show you my tape,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
All right. Is that clear as mud?
Yeah, they don't have,
This will all clear up. This, when you started the bond issues before, it took a while for everybody to get all the paperwork right. You're going to go through the same thing, but the lady got back, I didn't talk to Brenda today. The lady hadn't got back to start making any of the transfers yet, and I want y'all to be aware that they've held all the money, and we still haven't got all of it back yet. But they're holding all the money till she gets all it. She's been on vacation evidently for 2 weeks and didn't get us caught up. But we're gonna get caught up. Just be aware that we're not hurting for money necessarily right now, but we haven't got our money in because you changed banks doing the bond holding, your trustee changed, okay? All right, next thing on the list, and we will need to vote on this, y'all remember we had all the insurance evaluated, so you've got about 3 or 4 sheets there of evaluation. If you want to get to the short and sweet of it, if you want to go through and study all of it, there's a sheet there of newfound properties that wasn't insured at all on the sheet, the second page of that sheet right there at the bottom. When we're talking about newfound properties, she's going to break down because you had insurance values on properties that were insured that we're going to talk about that were underinsured, and then there's a price for the newfound property. Everything under the red line, that's the valuation. This is everything. So that was next sheet down. Everything under the red line right there is the newfound properties that's never been, we've never insured a dime of, okay? So if you go back to the front letter, at the bottom is a spreadsheet of some of the numbers regarding the premiums today. Making updates to the value and apply to the new rates, your billing originally was 0.26 cents a thousand, and as of December the 1st, it went to 0.30 cents a thousand, which we knew that was coming. So when renewing in September, your new rate will apply, and that would be the 36,677.29 without the adjustments. So, well, it does have the adjustments on it, I think, because it was like 31,000 what we ended up paying, wasn't it, Brenda, on what we had paid? And 36,000 will have the adjustments except for the newfound property. But that won't, the 30 cent a thousand won't be till September. Initial billing was, we had $10,778,943 in value, which made the premium be $28,025.25. The new value, after they evaluated everything, that was not newfound property, was $12,225,746.07, which would increase our premium to $31,786.99. That's $3,761 increase for another $1.4 million of coverage. If y'all want to do that, take the premium to where we need to be today, that's what we're going to have to do. Then the missing property insurance on the properties down below the buildings that were not there, it's $142,480 for another $427 in premium, because you haven't paid any of that premium because it wasn't on the policy anymore. So if y'all want to take us up to what the insurance adjuster's saying our premium, our building value needs to be, we'll pay $3,761.74 more in premium
Just to
on
get-
existing buildings, and you'll need to vote to pay $427 for the newfound property. And that gets everything insured to what, and if you want to go through my sheets, I didn't make y'all a copy of that. I've got a copy of every building and its insurance value. Go and look at all these sheets, here they are. I didn't make everybody a copy, but go and look at them. Here's all the buildings where the auditor come in and audited and put your insurance value, your value on it. Go and look at them, they're right here. And I will scan those in, there's nothing secret about that. So those will be scanned in, and they'll be on the intermail. But y'all would need to vote on, if you want to take it to the value that they saying we should be at, you need to vote for $3,761.74 in additional premium on what was underinsured, and what we didn't have on the books at all, you need to vote for $427 to cover that through the end of September. And then the 1st of November, the value of all that will be at 30 cents a thousand instead of 26.
It's coming in a lot cheaper than what we thought it
Oh,
was.
yeah,
Oh, gosh,
yeah. You're getting full
I'll make
insurance,
that motion.
okay?
So, he went through there and.
Did he
made
add
his
the-
own assessment, correct?
This is every building right here. Go and look at it, you can assess, this is an auditor.
The caboose and the skate park, he was unable to determine the value, just for the record,
I don't think there's anything to have to insure there. The caboose,
no, but I
Is
helped
that-
move it, just for the record, like, on the record, that caboose, I helped move that thing in there, we dug it out of a hole up there at Bonnerdale, for the lady that donated it, when we moved it to town, it's, the way them trains are, they set them off with them wheels, it's like we set a wheel in and set them back down, but the guy that brought it was the guy that approached us, different towns approached the chamber, was trying every which way he could. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I remember.
Get them wheels out front of that thing, 'cause there's something special about it. And anyway, make a long story short, that thing is worth a whole lot more than junk iron. So,
wheels all right.
yeah, but it ain't.
Because he's gonna put a set of wheels on it, and was wanting to give the chamber $5,000 or $6,000 for
It was
those.
like, yeah, I don't think it's like, in conversation with me, this has been, how many years, 7 years ago?
Years ago.
Yeah.
Is the,
I wanna think in my mind, I had a $15,000, $20,000,
I think you're right on it.
on the wheels. But he's tried every way he could to try to pick up to get them.
is the new office on here too?
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
Got that.
Where is it? I didn't see it. What number is
We
it?
got a motion on the floor too.
What number is it?
I second that motion.
Motion second. Any other, what, we need to get this discussion. It's on there, Alan. I think it's listed as city, it was in the old,
Okay, so number 7, water and sewer, city hall.
Okay, thank you. I see it
yeah,
now.
number 7, yeah.
I was looking for that earlier.
Yeah.
I'll second.
We already have a second.
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Any other discussion? So the motion would be to pay the $3,761.74 plus the $427 for the dollars for the newfound property. And that would take us up to what the auditors are saying our building value should be, and that would be no co-insurance with them, and that's insured to that value.
I'm impressed.
We have a motion and a second.
Roll call?
Terry Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
Uh,
Chris Wood,
Aye.
and Alan Moore. All in favor?
All right. If y'all want, like I said, if y'all want to look, I'll have these scanned in our minutes. I did not make y'all a copy of these. I didn't think y'all want to study every one of these sheets. If somebody wants to look at the valuation of each building sheet, it's here. And it will be in the minutes. Next thing is more of a, we have to vote on accepting this first part of this. This is, the first part of this is 30 pages of notes, and the second part is where we have to sign for a discharge permit. This is going to come into us in about 8 pieces. This is the first piece of the permit on the new sewer permit that we have to have done by June. You're on a deadline on this thing, so I've signed it. The only error that I saw in it, the email address was still Glenwood City Clerk at Windstream, and I had them change that to City Clerk at GlenwoodIR.com. Aaron Reed is our, would be the contact person for the sewer license. And then we changed the discharge permits. The numbers were way too low. They were picking this up off the last 3 months DMR. And the question on page 2 was 2 years ago, last year and this year, maximum output for one day, and we're way over our permit. We run last 2 years ago, we had 629,000 was a high day. Last year, 576,000 gallons a day was a high permit. This year, we're already at 627,000 for the high day on rainwater, and our permits for 400,000. So I'm sure that's gonna raise some eyebrows, but we've got the grant to get the, or not the grant, the loan to get the sewer lines replaced, which stopped the infiltration. I didn't want this permit to go in with those numbers, because that's not what they were. And we're signing our life away to AEQ that that's what they were, and I had those changed. And other than that, there's really nothing other than longitude and latitude and some other, if y'all want to look at all this permit, does anybody want to look at it in a public meeting, we're welcome to do it. Here it is, if anybody wants to look at it before or after the meeting, and it'll be scanned in the minutes. And, but this is only phase 1 of 8. So I need a motion to accept the discharge permit as we're sending it into ADQ for our new NPDES permit AR 0035645. That's actually our operating permit to operate the sewer plant.
Basically, we're not gonna send them our numbers unless they're good.
I am not saying unless they're good. But this is phase 1. If anybody wants to read any more detail of that, we've got
I
it.
was being sarcastic.
Understand. I need a motion to accept the first phase of this in the minutes. Accepting the discharge part of permit AR 0035645 for the Glenwood WWTP facility. Do I have a motion to accept this part?
I'll make that
This is
motion.
only 1 of 8. Have a motion by Kerry. Do I have a second?
Yeah, we gotta do it like 8 times.
There's gonna be 8 different parts.
He's just wanting it because we're changing the numbers.
Oh,
You're putting it to real numbers.
The whole permit, once the full thing's issued, is 7 or 8 more pieces of this, but we have to do this in phases, I found out.
What did you change it
The discharge amount,
It was 400,
to? I know, yeah, I got it.
86 something.
the discharge that we had down in, and where he picked up these numbers are good numbers, because he picked up off of the DMR. But your high volume usage 2 years ago was 629,000 on a peak day. And last year it was 576,000, and this year we've already had a day it's hit 627,000. And that's not counting what went in the pond.
So what did you?
I raised it to that amount because it was gonna put it in at 200,000.
629.
627 for this year, 576 for last year, and 2 years ago was 629. And that's off of our numbers that we're writing down every day.
Make sure we.
Those are already on the DMR. If they look at them, these numbers are already there. I don't know why I have to put them in again, but they're already on our sheet, so I'm just going off of the sheet that we've already turned into a
So
little
we need a
deal.
second?
I'll second.
Yes, we need a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
Uh,
Chris Wood,
Right.
Alan Moore. All in favor?
All right. Glenwood has applied for and got a fun park grant for $99,430, and I want to go over that a little bit, and then we'll open up for discussion. These permits are based on these are based on a point system. 47, I think it's 47 points available, and we achieved 47 points. There was probably 100 applications for this fund grant park. In cities of under 20, they raised it from 2,500 to 25,000 this year that could apply. 5 cities got funded. And on Facebook, I've seen some comments on, why did we go to the other park? A big part of the point system was putting playground equipment in a park that doesn't have any playground equipment. That was a big part of this point system. And we had to jump through the first hurdle to get to the points, and then it went to our Parks and Tourism by the highest qualifying points, who got the 5 grants that were allocated. So it wasn't a choice of us going to the old city park and refurbing it or doing more work. If we'd put an application in for a fund grant at the old city park, we wouldn't have got it because it was a big part of the point system. The grant writer come down and I said, we need to write this for the maximum points so we got a chance of getting it. And that's why we went to the John Benjamin Park. It doesn't have any playground equipment in it. So if people are asking on that, the reason we did it to John Benjamin Park, it's the only way we could have got the grant. If we'd used the other park, we wouldn't have got it. Because cities of everybody 25,000 and under got to apply for this. And so we elected to do a park that doesn't have any playground equipment, so we might get it. Because I'd rather have playground equipment at a park that doesn't have any. And I'm not disagreeing we don't need to do work at the other city park and get that playground equipment. I fully agree with that. Now then, with that being said, in this grant, you have to put the mat under it, not like our other playground equipment up here that's got it's not sawdust, but wood shavings or whatever it is in it. So $91,000 or $99,000, and you got to pay for the grant writer gets some money out of this. You have to have the engineer get some money out of this. So we don't have $99,000 spent to begin with. But I want us to get together and try to do some fundraisers to where we can try to get $150,000, $160,000 total. We got the $15,000 we put in park for this year. I would hope that money goes to that, because if you buy $50,000 worth of playground equipment in this grant, you got to buy $50,000 worth of that mat material. It's going to be a nice playground. But we don't have anything like this because we've gone the cheaper route on everything we've ever done. But this grant is not an option to do that. So if you had $90,000 worth of playground equipment up there, you'd have a pretty good playground. $50,000 worth of playground equipment is not going to buy a lot of pieces. So I hope we could do some fundraisers and try to get some money to match to get that up to where maybe we could do a $180,000 playground, because the mat is gonna be half the cost. If y'all have ever been to the cities that's got the nice mat under them, they're super nice. We just, cities, never been able to afford it, but this fund grant, it's a requirement you do that. So hopefully we can do, and I've talked to the chamber, and they're wanting to meet with the next chamber meeting with us, and they're gonna help us do some fundraisers for it. The chamber's all behind this 100%, and they wanna, maybe we can get Alan to do an auction, not charge us for doing an auction, and have some, if somebody wants to give something to auction, maybe a chili supper.
City, nothing ever, just pretty
But,
good on that.
I hope we can work to get some stuff together.
Paperwork.
I hope we can do some stuff to get a bigger park than just $90,000, because if y'all look at this commercial playground equipment, it don't go far. And I know on Facebook, we were hit quite a bit when we put out, we got it, I was all excited, I thought everybody in town would be real happy about it, and everybody was saying, why did we put it to the other park? We wouldn't have got it if we'd put it to the other park, so, and it's not changeable.
Do we know what the cost is to pay everybody, so we know what we're dealing with?
I do not today, Chris.
Okay.
Well, there is a chance that, whenever we were talking to the citizens about the tax reallocation to give us a little bit of leeway, there is a chance that or at least in my opinion, we were, just to kind of briefly, sum it up, we were in a situation where we were being forced to put an enormous amount of money in a place that couldn't be used when we had obvious problems right in front of us. People were nice enough to step up and do the tax reallocation. That way they could actually go to their council person would have some discretion on how to do it, on how to see it. So there is a chance, and this is all based on hypothetical numbers that we're expecting. So as inflation and different things, there is a chance that something comes in a little bit better, and then we're able to do it of our own accord, it seems to me like.
Okay.
Does that sound possible to you? I mean, things change and grants pop up and,
Well, we can't do anything with this grant till after March, because they've announced we got it, but we gotta go have the official blah, 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 and then the engineer can start working on it and all that, so we'll know more as we move on. This is actually something, Frank's has gotta write the spec up and put it out for bid, which makes it, but that's the way these grants are written, so, that's the way it goes, so we're working on that, and we'll know more as we work into it.
but our
And it's-
income is gonna be.
Well, we know we've got 15, we've budgeted $15,000 in parks, more than what was spent last year, so I would hope you spent that 15,000 to go with this. That's the council's decision whether they do that or not, but I would hope it at least put that much in with this park grant to try to get a nicer park. But that's all I have on that. Does anybody in the audience have anything they'd like to say on it? You're more than welcome to put in. This pretty much got cut and dried when it went through when you were filling out the application for the grant. We asked the grant writer to look and see where he could possibly get it from, and that's what she did. And we were at 5 cities is all that got this grant, the whole state. And that's towns that applied for it, 25,000 under. Usually this grant is only available to towns of 2,500 and under, not 25,000 and under. And we didn't think we were going to have a chance, because we figured some swankier grant writer would get, in the bigger towns, would get swankier than us. And fortunately, Glenwood won out in it. So I'm tickled we got it. I still want to do more work at the Old City Park. But you take grants and use grants. To me, we're foolish if we don't take grants that we can get to do things that we want. Maybe not exactly like we want them, but we take a grant and get it and make an improvement in town. There's no match with this grant that has to be put with it. You can do the 99,000 minus the 2 expenses, and that'd be all you put in it, if that's all you want. There's no match with it, which is a nice thing. It doesn't have to have a match to it. And we have, Great Southern donated the city some ground up, it's the ground up, tires that they make stuff out of. So we've got enough sidewalk material to put the sidewalk in, that we won't have to use any, this has gotta have sidewalk tied to it, we've got that material, that's not gonna cost us anything. The city can go over there and get the dirt work ready and level, and we won't put that in the bid, we'll get that done before it goes to bid, so we won't lose that expense in this. So the city's already got some things that's gonna be a big savings to us, that's gonna leave the money for playground equipment.
Do you think that the engineer would consider donating some of his time to this project?
We'll sure twist his arm hard on it, because he's getting a lot of money out of the city next year anyway.
Thank you.
Yes, I've already hit Kyron up, I hadn't hit Andy up, I need to hit the big boss up, and I haven't seen him yet, but yes, I'm gonna definitely ask him for that.
Is there a company that you're planning on using for the equipment?
That will be, we can look and see, I went to the municipal league, meeting, and there's a guy, there's one in, Fayetteville, there's a company in Fayetteville that does it, and there's a company in, Benton that does it, and there's another one.
There's one in Hot Springs, because my friend does it.
The one in Benton was a lot cheaper on his map material. I mean, like half price, and I liked it better than what I saw of it. But there again, that's something the engineer, we'll talk with the engineer in meetings about.
Because I have to bid it out.
I'm sure they're gonna bid, the playground equipment's gonna be bid, there's gonna be a spec on it.
Yep.
Everybody wants to bid on it's gonna bid on it. Because it's gonna be put out to bid, it's not gonna be something we can go get somebody, it's gonna be bid, so. I don't know who'll end up with it, but the engineer, we'll have to sit down in a meeting here and decide what would get the biggest bang for our buck. For instance, you probably won't put any swings in this. If you're gonna do swings, we'll go over there and do those separate. Because swings takes up such a big footprint in the mat. You can get a lot more bang for your buck for kids to have stuff to play on than a swing. Everybody loves a swing, but a swing takes up, that's one thing, all the people I was talking to, when you was talking about this mat, they said, you'd be better off to put a smaller playground in with a mat that could get more kids on it. If you're gonna swings, go there and put the sawdust or over there under it in a separate part of the park, because swings is gonna, you're gonna pay 4 times for the mat that you pay for the
Yep.
swing.
And most of the new ones don't have swings in them now.
That's the reason they don't.
Yep.
But not because they don't want swings, it's just if you put that mat under them, the cost of that mat per square foot, you don't get much bang for your buck. But we'll have meetings on that and discuss that as we go on, because I don't have any idea what I didn't have any idea we'd get this grant, so I hadn't really started working.
We need a motion to accept the grant, or what do we need?
We will probably, would go ahead and do that tonight, or we do it in March?
Probably in March, yeah.
They'll have the formal paperwork here for it in March. They just announced that we got it, and I want to let everybody know, so. All right? All right. What is this title? 4 ADA notice of non-discrimination template?
Is it
Brent.
something that we have to be able to sign here because of the grant? we received?
That's what the paperwork you've got back there?
I've got all the paperwork done,
This is with the highway department, correct?
department,
All, and we got sidewalk grants and the sewer line that went around, or the water line and sewer line that went around, everything I'll get through the highway department, this is approval.
with our recreation and
Okay, Parks and Tourism.
but we have to have one of these in place every 5 years.
Have you got that back there? I don't have it in my stuff packet.
Right here. This,
That makes it. I don't have that, unless it's under here.
The first 4 pages will have to be put on our website.
no, you don't have it.
I don't have it. You're gonna need to get that put in your minutes too. You've already got it filled out, signed?
I'm ready for y'all to say yes, we have intended to do it, then the highway department approves. And it's done for 5 years.
Okay.
As a
Basically, it's the same one you did 5 years ago. Did it look like we need, is there anything that we need to revise on it or anything like that and add, or she's the one, okay.
non-discriminatory,
I got it.
the city of Glenwood complies with civil rights.
Non-discrimination.
Glenwood does not discriminate against race, sex, color, age, national origin, religion,
So you all can receive your RDOT stuff.
Do I have a motion to accept
Yeah. I'll
the
make
Title
that-
IV ADA notice, non-discrimination?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Roll call.
Aye.
Brenda, will you put
All in favor?
my,
Six. It's Title VI.
It must be.
am I reading it wrong? Title VI? This is reversed on my, in the minutes, it should be Title
Yeah.
VI.
Yeah, they typed it wrong.
So we need to, I'm gonna change that to Title VI in here.
Somebody made a typo.
Thanks for catching that, Don.
Roman noodles are hard.
Brenda, would you change to the signed paperwork in, yeah, but in here, the paperwork, all I've done is sign it, it's not all filled out. Okay. I've signed it. but-
Billy probably signed the one he's protesting.
No, I've signed it right.
So do we need to put this in the minutes, in the
Yes.
book? Okay.
I have your copy, because I don't have a copy, or one of you guys' copies, because I don't have, somewhere they didn't get my copy. That way you got your copy of it. All right. Next thing is, all of y'all know, we've been having a lot of problems at our sewer lift stations and overflowing. And I've called each of the councilmen this month, and y'all are gonna approve a bunch of money tonight that we've done over the phone because the work has been completed. Now, part of the Jenkins stuff has not got to do with the sewer lift stations, it's finishing up on the sewer plant. But y'all need to vote on each of these invoices because they're pretty big invoices. I have notified y'all what I was having to do and told you I'd bring invoices with the prices because I didn't know what the prices of everything was when I ordered it because of Tim Carver on the pumps. I had to order the pumps and you're gonna see the invoices. So, did y'all go through the Jenkins gravel? The first invoice is for work done at the sawmill. That pump was out of that lift station 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And we finally got the second pump put in. It's been here for 6 years. And so that work was to put one pump station in, and we paid a company, we paid, it was one in Little Rock, Jack Tyler, to put this in, and he brought the pump up there and set it on top of the ground. So I'm through with Jack Tyler, but Jenkins put it in, that's what that $1,800.
We've had the pump in our possession for 6 years.
Yes, sir.
Since you found out then,
Yes, sir.
why would we rushing out of that for?
Well, it's just been put in 6 years ago, but it was sitting here. But anyway, it's in. Wright's lift station had to have some work, minor work done on it, that was $600. The $7,500 on Jenkins there was his labor during the cold spell to help us get everything going. It was a mess, but we got it fixed, so that $7,500 there was that. The $6,400 on this bill was completing work at the sewer plant. The sewer plant has everything, the racetrack is finished. We have the new valves put in on the digester. All the handrails at the whole sewer plant are repainted, sandblasted and repainted. Matt Street lift station, that was just trying to get it going with the old pumps, and we had to end up having to replace all of it, but we got them working until we could get by. At the sewer plant, what we're gonna lock, the two small clarifiers, what do you call that valve that rolls and up and down that they,
I always call them your overflow for your,
anyway, we turned that all the way down to the bottom, and that's gotta be adjustable, it hadn't been moved in 5 years. It's froze up, so that's gotta be redone, and while we've got that while we got those two small clarifiers down, both those pieces are broke on those. They need to be repainted where the weirs run over. That's a maintenance thing that has to be done every 5 or 6 years. It's time to repaint those. And then repaint the walk deck, and that'll have everything at the sewer plant as far as equipment going through and upgraded. That's what we like on that. We like, if any of you's been out to the sewer plant, we've got a chain link fence on the front entrance there. Chris, what's that chain link fence? 400 foot long, 500 foot long?
Where at again?
On the front sewer plant where you gotta pull in?
Well, it's at least 400 foot long. It's probably longer than that.
I've talked to the county judge. We talked to some guys about what we need to do on that, because if you look at the concrete, you know how you set post in concrete? The bottom of the concrete showing. The fence is sitting there by the grace of God right now, and, I talked to some other people. They said the easiest thing to do for it is rip-wrap it, and then get one of the little concrete pumps that pump the pea gravel concrete, and just fill in all that, and that'll hold that fence. So I talked to the county judge the next rain day, because we're gonna need we're gonna start with 10 loads of, riprap. The county's gonna haul it for us. We'll just have to pay for the riprap. The county's gonna haul it for us, because we got one truck, and to go to Delight and back 10 trips, he can do it in one day he's got 5 trucks, and he's gonna do it on the next rain day, and that's what we like at the sewer plant, having everything pretty much up. So the first bill on this for 18.5 with Jenkins is doing 5 different projects, working on 5 different projects. Could I have a motion to accept?
So $21,739 was this lift stations.
This 18.5 was.
No, I mean, if you decipher each one of them,
Probably.
is somebody checking on those now?
We're not through, Jenkins is still finishing up.
So who's gonna, I mean, something's gonna be in place where they're gonna be checking these and make sure work's done on it? This is ridiculous.
Some of the work on this, guys, on these pumps, we replaced 3 complete sets of pumps and rebuilt the other 3. The pumps that had to be replaced were 26 years old, the Howlings were. Some of that's just wear. I
Well, I'll
mean,
give you that, but
now,
But that-
letting me know that the pumps weren't pumping
that's what
is a
I'm getting at.
complete different issue. The overflowing we were doing at these pump stations, I was keep getting alarms on every time we get a half inch of rain. And for instance, the pump station at Matt Street, the pumps were only set up to do 100 gallons a minute, and that line was stopping up. It's what they call scouring. The pumps weren't big enough to scour the line. Those pumps have been, even though it's the same 3-inch pump that's pumping 100 gallons a minute, we went from a 3-horse motor to a 5-horse motor, and those pumps are now pumping 200 gallons a minute, which the engineer says is enough to scour the line. We're gonna have the same problem on the new 6-inch line we put in across the river, because if y'all look at that line, it's downhill all the way up to the cell barn. They figured the flow on that, and it needs to flow 180 gallons a minute, and we're changing those 3-inch pumps out to 3-inch pumps, but we're putting 5-horse motors on them. That'll flow 200 gallons a minute, where it's got to flow 180 gallons a minute to get that scouring. We put that new line in, but we didn't think about the scouring problem, and before it gets to be a problem, we've upgraded those, going to upgrade those pumps to 5-horse also. Same problem that Dr. Feelgood's, those pumps were replaced, and those have 5-horse motors going on them. A lot of Jenkins is providing all the electrical. If you're looking at his cost on his stuff, if he's putting the VFDs and he's putting the motors on.
No, I was just looking, it says work done at Sawmill Lift Station, work done at Wright's Lift Station, work done at Matt Street Lift Station, work done at, I'm just asking about that.
Yes.
I'm in favor of approving these invoices, but, and I think probably, maybe you would agree with me, I don't really like the generalization of work done at Sawmill Lift Station. I'd kinda like to know what we actually did at Sawmill, not on these invoices, but just request more detailed billing on future projects, because
If you
know,
look,
You call us and then we, later on, it kinda all starts running together, so it'd be nice to say, hey, you know what, we did replace some bearings and maybe such and such, why are we replacing those?
Yeah.
Hey, Billy, one other quick question. Whenever you first come in here, which you already knew, you know a lot about the water, and already knew a lot about the water and all that, but, and for many years, but, we had situations where we had 2 pumps capable, but we had 1 pump burn out, and then we were running on our backup pump in some cases at our lift stations at different places. And so we were kind of behind the 8 ball TJ come up there and bailed us out, and the head guy at the mill said it's gonna cost them $60,000
Yeah, the acidic,
an
or,
hour
yeah.
or something production plus all the jobs, we couldn't get it up and going, TJ bailed us out and we just fair. So I have no doubt these invoices are correct, but I would like more detailed
Yeah. If,
specifics.
if you look at the next page, the 18, make a motion to accept that 18,500 invoice 1402, please.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
Uh,
Chris Wood, Alan Moore, all in favor.
Okay, on Jenkins' next invoice, that's where he bought the 4 motors, and he bought the 4 VFDs, and then that labor, that $6,500 is installing the rotor back at the sewer plant. And then the $600 was to change, the city bought the 2 valves at the digester, and he had to take his crane, separate the pipe, put it in, set them back down. So that $600 was putting that in. And oil change on the gearbox on the rotors, that's $325. And then work done on the lift stations. The city was trying, the boys trying to help me, and I had to get somebody to help me get these lift stations running that were overflowing every night. Some of that repeat labor is not gonna be there because you got the pumps back in that work now. When you got a pump that's got no pumping capacity left in it, for instance, TJ went up there and put rotating assemblies in, to try to get a pump going on wore out pumps that we had to wait for pumps to come in. So some of this we had to pay double labor on. I don't think anybody realized that the labor was as bad as it was. I mean, the pumps were as bad as they were, but
Yeah.
there again, they're 26 to 30-year-old pumps is what got replaced. They're not new.
This one right here says change oil and gearbox on rotors. Is that on a maintenance schedule now, so we don't have to worry about that to be done?
When he gets through with all this, I'm gonna bring the crews in and everything that TJ's putting in. I'm fixing to get the crews trained on it, so we don't have to hire TJ to keep coming back.
Can we implement that on the bill with
The next bill's gonna do that.
okay, because it'd be nice if we had deal if we could bring them up, look at it and say, okay, well, they gotta do some maintenance deal underneath all the lift stations, and this is what they're doing to it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I
If y'all agree with this bill, then I'll explain what he's
Yeah.
talking about is on the next bill. So the 15,527 on invoice 1403 is for the motors, the VFDs, installation on rotor, change digester valves, gearbox on rotors, and then other labor.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
A motion is second, roll call.
Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
Aye.
Chris Wood,
Aye.
Alan Moore, all in favor.
Okay, the next thing, the Cincy phone contract. I'm tired of not being able to see what's going on at the lift stations. When I get this stuff put in, I'm gonna tell you where the check valve's leaking, whether a rotating assembly's wore out, it's all gonna come to your phone. I can give that to every councilman. If y'all wanna start watching it yourself, you
I wanna
can.
watch it myself, but
We're going to have
Set
it
up
to
a
where,
maintenance.
huh?
under the Glenwood, like.
Where it's set up a
City
maintenance.
Glenwood deal that's in here, I think we should have.
I could alert you on the hours
log
it's time
in
for
right
maintenance.
here, As yes, and it shows, you can look, everybody, all of us can go in there and look at the pump stations, the hour meters and all that. I think there should be a maintenance field in there, so if they went down that day and they had to do work to it, or it needs work, it's filled out right there.
I'm with you.
That's gonna be in this process, he's gotta get this equipment put in, it's not, this is gonna check your temperature, like for instance, every pump station I went to, now the city boys had put a little heater in them, but the main heater in them was out. The heat sensor that tells the pumps to quit running, if those pumps have lost their prime, they run for over 5 minutes, you're burning the pump up. Those are all unhooked. You didn't know if your vacuum, this is gonna be able to tell you what we're putting in with this equipment right here. If your check valve starts leaking, if you're watching the sense all the pressures every day, you'll know when something's starting to wear. If the council wants to look at it, they can look at it. I'll give you the information on getting in on it. It's gonna be recorded and everything, so,
I'm with Chris on that, Billy. I'll tell you one reason why, because, whenever I got on the council, I personally went and insured, I think it was my second, after the first meeting, I went and toured everything myself and familiarized myself, because it was crazy, you're sitting there voting on stuff, and, you know, $50,000, $100,000, you wouldn't know what it looked like if they laid it on the table. And then on some of the maintenance things that he's talking about, I know of many times that we went into a project, and for instance, we rebuild the engine, we do, but we don't put no oil in it, we just put the old oil back in there. Just little stuff like that, and I think we ought to make a good maintenance schedule would be very
Like
helpful.
if TJ says the rotor needs to be changed every 250 hours, well, it'll send out a notification it's time for maintenance to be done.
It will, the rotating assemblies,
Okay.
you're gonna have, now that you got all new pumps, or all
Yeah.
rebuilt pumps, you're gonna have a line that you know where they're supposed to be operating at. And if you see anything dropping off of your line, and this is gonna actually be, the Sensi phone's gonna record this every day. It's gonna be on the chart. If we don't take care of the maintenance on this, all you gotta do is go back and pull that tube, pull the maintenance, and it's right there. It's in a log. This is gonna log those pumps, everything about them. And
The only thing I request, we're gonna have to pass this no matter what, but I know this has got some other stuff added into it, because obviously it had to have it, but unless this is everything for one pump station, so I'd
No,
like
this
to
is
know
Liberty.
what it was gonna cost per pump station to do this.
the Sensi phone, that's 5 pump stations getting Sensi phones put in on,
So that's gonna be the cellular network, okay, so how much does each one of those cost you a year?
$300. It's $1,500 to monitor this.
So we're doing 5, so this is enough for 5 pump stations, right?
Yes, if we want, I told him to start with the 5 main, and then if you wanna go 2 more deeper than that, it would be the $2,408 per station.
7.
You need
We
7.
need 7.
You need 7. If you want me to get him to do the other 2, it's gonna cost you $2,400 a station.
Man, if we're gonna do
Oh,
it.
wait a minute now. So, but every pump station is not alike, that you're gonna put this up.
That's correct. But he's gonna monitor them and what needs to be monitored for those submerged pumps those submerged pumps got high heat limits on them and all that stuff too.
So we're at 34, okay, well, this is for 5 though, so it's $34,000 for 5 pump.
No,
stations.
12, look over here, 12,000.
12,000.
See the number, the line.
I'm looking at the total for 5.
But the
That's
Sensi,
other
the
stuff.
Sensi phones is what's monitoring
Yeah,
your
that's at the
equipment.
bottom of it.
Yeah, but see the Sensi phone at the top?
That's
I'm
$12,000.
talking about everything that's there.
That's not got the pumps. We're fixing to go over the pump equipment in a minute. Guys, we did
I make a motion to pass this receipt.
I'll second that.
receipt 1405 for $34,529.50. Very good.
Hi.
Now then, the first invoice from Tim Carva is your actual pump parts that are going into the station. Okay, there's gonna be 3 different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 invoices. This is terrible. But this is from lack of maintenance and just wore out equipment. I mean, you can't expect, these 3 pumps are changed out, the youngest one is 25 years old. The oldest one is over 30.
That's not the aggravation of the point here.
I understand.
It's not- The aggravation of the point is, when we were doing the preventative maintenance, we would have seen how bad it was getting. We could have had this done slowly instead of just like that.
I'm not arguing with you.
It's aggravating.
I just know that ever since I've been mayor, my phone rings off the wall because I'm getting I had them start giving me the messages for what was going on at the pump stations. And if it rains a half inch, the alarms come in nonstop for 4 to 5 days. I finally said enough's enough, and that's when I started calling y'all this month. And Tim Carver actually come down, sent a man down, and we tore these pump stations down. We just didn't go out there and do a pump station because we wanted to. We tore the pump station down and saw if it was rebuildable. We ordered the parts to rebuild it. We didn't have a pump station with check valve working in it. So you're
like-
losing your prime. We took the air releases off all the pump stations. they're all back on, they're coming all back on there, but those air releases are expensive. They should have been kept on there.
So
Huh?
like this 18,000, you don't know exactly what, I mean, what it goes to, it's just, we know it's in lift stations.
Okay, there's two rotating assemblies in there, the shim kits or the O-rings. This right here is to rebuild a 3-inch pump station. Everything, check valves and everything.
Do we know which one this is? Is this 70 West or?
The 3-inch pump station that's got rebuilt, I'm putting one new pump in at Matt Street. I'm putting one new pump in across the river, and I'm taking the 2 pumps from rebuilding, putting one in one. So I've got one new pump at Matt Street, one rebuilt pump at Matt Street, and I've got one new pump at 70
okay.
over across the bridge,
Okay.
and
Okay.
one rebuilt. This is doing the two
The two.
pumps we rebuilt.
Between Matt Street and
Yes,
70 West.
Okay.
That I wanted to know.
yes.
Okay.
So that's what that invoice is doing. So I need y'all to approve the invoice, CD 99114624 for $18,997.46. That's to rebuild 2 3-inch pumps.
On Matt and 70.
Matt in 70, what's across the river?
70 West.
Because we
Yeah.
put 2 new pumps in the pump station at 70 by Mudland.
Yes.
That's Mudley.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Make that motion.
have a second,
I'll second
roll call.
Yeah, wait for it to
it.
get
He stepped out. So while we're here, so it can speed, what, like the next one, the 6,000, what station's that one? Do you-
That is the 6-inch pump station that's extra. We used all of our gate valve, check valves. We need some check valves. This is replacement inventory for, Staker-Hoy lift station.
That's fine.
That's the only one we got 6-inch pumps left in it, but we used all of them and we're gonna actually use one of these check valves on our, our portable big pump. You can't buy the check valve in that anymore, so TJ's taking one of these. So you're gonna put one check valve, one of these 3 check, well, that's 2 check valves. We got one spare check valve and one check valve is gonna go on that,
Big blue one, that big blue
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
I thought that was 8.
he's gonna make that
Just
6-inch.
that first, no,
That check valve work. It will fit.
the pump station motors, the very first one, just for the first one. 18,000, that's gonna do Matt Street and 70.
But he's been making us aware of this stuff.
Yeah, we already do.
We just wanna wait till you're there.
Procedural now, pretty much, right?
Yes.
But I'm in favor of it.
Okay, so Alan Moore says yes. Chris Fuller says
Aye.
aye.
Yes.
Clark says yes. Terry Berry says
Aye.
aye. All in favor?
The next one is $6,000, that's for check valves, and that's for
Replace inventory.
Matt Street. Not Matt Street, Staker-Hoy, Fishnets, yeah.
I'll make a motion to pass it.
Second.
Make a motion to approve invoice CD 99114623 for $6,204.77.
Terry Berry,
Aye.
Jim Clark, Chris Fuller, Alan Moore. All in favor?
Okay. The next one is for 2 complete 3-inch pumps and check valve springs and all that stuff that goes with them. Those, 2 of these are gonna be put in or already put in so you can call this invoice the one that did the one at Mud Lake. That's new complete pumps. The belts, had to put new belts. TJ's bill's gonna have the new belts and
It's
the
already on
shields
there.
on there.
It's
Right.
on there.
But they're there. This is just the pumps from Tim Carver that we put in at that lift station
Can I
at
read
Mud
you,
Lake.
I got this on Messenger, February the 8th. Hey brother, how are you doing? Sorry to bother you, but I would like to know if this was at 9:43 at night. We're still thinking about working on this sewer pump on Matt Street. Seems like every time it rains, it overflows, and then again,
Yeah.
one of our bathrooms doesn't work. What would you suggest? Should I go to one of the city council meetings and let them about the issue? Thank you. I said, we've discussed it in several meetings. I'll try to get you an update. I think we have already approved all that needs done. It's simply a contractor issue or a schedule issue. I'll get back to you. So it'll be, okay.
Matt Street pumps are all rebuilt and the new motors are on. I think the transducer, he hadn't got in yet. We're changing from floats to transducers because that's gonna monitor on your SCADA, or on your, so.
Oh, we'll make
The 18th, so do I have a motion to approve invoice number CD 99115207 for $18,964.11?
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Okay, Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy White,
Aye.
Chris Floyd, Al Moore. All opposed.
Okay, if you look at the $3,000 invoice and the $16,000 invoice, those are going to Dr. Feelgood's. This is the parts, the $3,000 invoice is the parts for the 4-inch there, so, and then the $16,000 is for the 2 pumps. Those are 2 new pumps in there. Those pumps were used pumps that were 25 or 26 years old that were taken out of, we finally figured out where those come from. Those come out of
They
Wright's.
come out of Wright's pump station.
Wright's pump station, and they put them in. They were wore out almost when they took them out of Wright's. They put them in up there, and these may be the 35-year-old pumps because they're old. But they got those are 4-inch pumps, and we put them in. And TJ, you already paid the bill for the motors and the
Yep.
VFDs that got upgraded on those. This is the 2 invoices for the pumps there. So
I'll make that motion.
have a motion to approve invoice CD 991, or not CD, invoice number CD 99115208 for $3,113.40.
Yes.
I second it.
Okay, Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy White,
Aye.
Chris Floyd,
Aye.
Al Moore. All opposed.
Okay, the next thing is for the next, well, that's the 4-inch pumps at Dr. Feelgood's. So that, we already discussed that. That's invoice CD 99115210 for $16,713.88. And that's, again, that's Dr. Feelgood's pumps.
I'll make the motion.
Gary, second. Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy White,
Aye.
Chris Floyd,
Aye.
Al Moore. All opposed.
Okay. The next invoice you see in front of you is for the next set of 3-inch pumps, of which one of those pumps went to Matt Street, new, and one went to, the pumps at 70 West across the river were completely gone. So I put one new and one rebuilt, that way I got one new and one rebuilt at each spot. But these pumps are the 2 pumps that were really for over there, but we put one new one in over there and moved one of the rebuilt ones at Matt Street. It's gonna be moved over there.
Oh, I got you. The first one was a rotating system.
Yes.
This one's the actual pump.
This is actual pumps.
That makes more sense.
Okay? So this is the 2 new pumps, one of which is put in at Matt Street, one of which is gonna be put in. The pumps we have not done, we have that pump station over at 70 left, and we have a submerged pump out at, Industrial Park that's not fixed yet. We're not doing much over there, and I need to talk with y'all about what y'all want me to do on that. Because we've got to make up our mind whether we want to put a smaller pump in there, or you want to put a bigger pump in there, like was in it. Y'all need to tell me which way to go. Let's get this one done, then we'll talk about that.
To pass, invoice number CD 99117303.
I'll second it.
Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy White,
Aye.
Chris Floyd,
Aye.
Al Moore. All opposed.
Okay, at Industrial Park, we have,
I would like to state publicly, the reason some of these votes are going 4-0, 4-0, 4-0 is because all is off throughout the month, and I very much appreciate that, I'm sure the other council members do.
Yes, very much.
I don't like ordering parts, spending this kind of money without it being approved before I get a council meeting, but I had pumps broke down. So all the council was notified on an individual call before I ordered any one of these. Now, what do you want me to do? You want me to wait for the council meeting, start working on it, or you want to start getting pumps fixed and then bring the bills to you? So that's what they said do, and this is what we're doing. The only pump station I've not talked to y'all about, the Industrial Park used to have big, what size pumps were those over there? There's some big ones, because that used to be our biggest, when we had the linen service over there, that was our biggest pump station. There's very little water going to that pump station right now. And TJ has said, instead of buying that high-dollar submerged pump, why don't we buy one that's about a third the price, that's the size that is in, the sawmill. It's the same voltage. And do you want me to put the big pump back in it? Probably cost you another 20 grand than putting the smaller pump in it, or do you want me to put the smaller pump in it?
The laundry, Edla Sewer was running the laundromat out
Yeah.
there.
Are we still gonna have enough flow going through that we can scour the line? Because if not, we're gonna be stopped up.
Okay. Yeah, it could be a problem, so
That's
I
what
can
we need to
put
pay
the,
attention
y'all
to.
just need to tell me, and I don't have a price on that bigger pump, I don't have a price on the smaller pump, because y'all gotta tell me which one you want me to put in it. TJ says we could put the smaller pump in, would do, he thinks it would do what at the, it's the same voltage, you gotta watch voltage on these submerged pumps. And the voltage that's at the sawmill is the same voltage that's over there. I can either put the pump back in it, the size, we have one pump running, don't wanna replace it, it's the original pump in there, it's fine, it's working. It's got one pump completely out, it's burned up.
And that all, what is that all
Well, I don't
pump?
wanna
Just
put-
that road?
I don't wanna put a smaller pump in there if it's not gonna still be able to scour the line out, because we'll get stopped up on that line.
Well, the thing about it is, I'd kinda like to put the bigger pump in it, cause it's industrial park, if you had a customer come in there and need it,
I'd
Yes.
put it back like it was.
okay.
Fix it right, because like you saying, we may try to save a nickel and spend it down
Okay.
there.
I will do that, I don't know the price of that pump, but I'm telling y'all now, as quick as TJ gets all these other pumps fixed, we gotta fix that pump, cause I've got one pump running in that pump station.
I'm pretty sure it's a 6-inch,
It's a big pump.
which is,
I can get y'all, I will get counsel, I'll get y'all the price of the pump before I order it, but if you want to put the big, that's the direction you want me to go. That's personally
never
what
know
I'd
what's
like
gonna
to
come.
see it do, even though it's not running much, because that's the industrial park pump
You
station.
never know what's gonna come in down there.
If you put a smaller pump in it, you have to go back, you'd have to pull it out, and put it back in, you gotta change the rails and all that to do that, so. Because it's a different rail system to put the smaller pump in, and a different boot down there on the bottom where the pump matches up. So you want me to go with the pump that's in there?
Yeah, get some, yeah.
I'd soon not start experimenting myself.
do you know about what that's gonna cost?
I will call you when I find a price. I do not know. I have not priced that pump. The pumps that wasn't working at all, the station that wasn't working at all, so I was trying to get fixed
Where are you
first.
gonna try to go with?
Tim Carvas will have
Were
that pump.
they flight or not flight?
No. Flight is coming from
I know.
Jack Tyler, and Jack Tyler, if he's gonna bill me to put a pump in, not put in, I'm not getting anything from Jack Tyler. Unless y'all tell me to go to Jack
No,
Tyler.
I agree with that.
The Tim Carver rep has come down and done 3 days of training, and I know he's made money. Somebody said, well, he's making money on you. Yeah, he has, but I never had a sales rep come down and offer to train their employees. He's come down 2 days of training, he's coming back for more. We just got to tell him what he wants. He's gonna train our guys how to work on these pumps properly. He come down and tried to do it, and the pumps, ain't nothing to show him when you can't rebuild a pump. I mean,
We've learned a lot.
but he has been down and he's been very helpful. And TJ likes his pumps better and you've actually got the pumps from Tim Carva, is what they put in at the cemetery lift station.
Yes.
And they really like those. Those have a rebuildable wear plate in them. It's the only submerged pump
That does.
that has a rebuildable wear plate in them. They have a rebuildable wear plate in them. They're a lot nicer pump. They're a better pump. And you'd have to get somebody to pull them. City don't have the equipment to rebuild, to repair that wear plate. If it's wore, before the pump wears out, you put the Sensi phone stuff on them. We can start telling them that's wearing, get the pump pulled, and get the wear plate adjusted before we burn a pump up. If we put Sensi phone over there, I can put a Sensi phone over there. Yeah. We need 7 lift stations with Sensi phone, and I asked him to get me these 5 running and show y'all what it's doing, and then y'all make up the mind on the other 2. But anyway. So y'all make a
Yes.
motion, I'll call you and tell you what it is, we'll vote on the next
We'll vote
meeting,
on it,
what
yeah.
y'all wanna do.
Yeah, I'd rather you call me.
I'm gonna call you, but I'll tell you. Next thing, we've got a lot of streets messed up, we need to get some streets repaired.
Hey,
We've got a roller,
Before you change subject, that one that was there, with that laundromat running the lots of water and all that, it lasted for many, many years.
it's the original pump that was put in back, when was Sharon mayor, back in 70?
No,
No.
No, it's put in when we did.
No, I think it was, I thought she did the industrial park,
That
didn't
was
she?
early 90s, wasn't it?
Before that?
No, it was during, Scott the exceed
Was it early 2000?
I wanna
No,
thank
it
you.
was in the early nineties.
Yeah, it's early
You put that lift station in when the egg place come in.
Diamond Lakes Poultry.
Yeah.
come in.
That was 80,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Diamond Lakes Poultry.
And, the exceed paper.
yeah,
Moral of the story, it lasted many years like it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
yes,
Go ahead.
okay. Now then, we're trying to get our crews out to get some patching done on the streets. We don't have a trailer, we got our packer back working, it was broke down, we've got it all fixed and repaired. Don't have a trailer loaded on and moved around. City's been driving that trailer from point to point. Right now, we've got Republic Lane that needs a lot of work done on it, we got County Line Road that needs work done on it. The street I live on, down to Jurgen's house, is,
Yeah, down to Yerby's pretty bad.
it's terrible. And that's just the three furthest extremes, I'm not talking about anything in between. You can't drive that packer all over town, so we went and priced a tilt trailer, we went and looked at
I
several.
think what you need to do is pave your driveway.
My driveway's paved, not the city street, mine's paved.
Don't start that.
But anyway,
Don't start.
we need to buy, and we don't have a good trailer to haul our, mowers on. So this trailer is not just the one you spread, and then it would also, if you need to move the Mini X, the smaller Mini X, not the big one, it won't fit on it. The big one won't fit on it. You could move the big Mini X with the other trailer we bought, move the smaller Mini X and pull it with the 3/4 ton. This would be it'll
Can
be
the
a
skid
hitch.
steer fit on this one too?
But you can pull that with your 3/4 ton trucks, and it'll be a 14,000 pound trailer. The heaviest weight on it on that Mini X is 8,700 pounds. Y'all got a bid in front of you right there. We went and looked at
What's
several
the
different
skid
spots. This is the company that y'all approved and bought the dumpsters from and that trailer from. He was the lowest bid. And for the quality trailer he's getting, I think this is the best tilt trailer we can get. It was 92.50.
9624.
14K is what you can haul on it?
Yes. That's GVW, the trailer is 14, so you could haul about, Brett went out, I think it was about 11.5.
Well, you can't haul the skid steer.
You can't haul a skid steer then.
12.
12.
You want me to go to the heavier axle?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you wanna be able to haul all of your equipment, you need to be able to haul all your equipment, right? Isn't that the whole purpose of getting it?
I didn't think about the skid steer, I didn't think about it going on. If you want to put skid steer on it, it's wide enough.
Well, it'd
to put
be, I
on.
mean, it tilts and it'd be easier than,
You can't hardly ever go wrong going with a better axle, period, because when you run off on a pothole.
I don't know how much more it'd be, it's,
So
I'm sure
it
it's,
ain't gonna be much, you won't be over $1,000 difference
okay. Y'all, what is the next axle weight up there?
probably.
Brent.
8,000.
so that skid steer weighs 12? It won't fit, it won't hold it then.
What, you gonna have to get, what's the next
There's
axle?
the paper right here, hold on, try.
What does it say?
Here it is, this is the one you said it's one on the right, right?
Yes.
So the 8,000 pound. No, it's one on the left. You had to get 8,000 pound, is it one on the left? I think you said right.
8,000 pound axle would be 16,000 pounds.
Yeah, so then we can haul it. Well, what is is that what you can haul, or do you have to include it?
That's GVW, you gotta take about 2,500 pounds
You'll
off.
be fine with the 8,000 pound axle, because this,
Okay.
5,000 pound axle, you can haul a mini axle all day long. 7,000, better. 8,000, you're gonna be way.
Well, they're talking about hauling that skid steer.
Yeah,
now.
but history, they can weigh over 10, 12,000.
That skid steer's heavy,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
12.
think, 10, 12,000.
So 8,000 pound axle is what you need to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just see what that is, yeah.
Okay, that'll be over 10,000, but y'all, that's what you want me to do, I'll call the guy
I would
tomorrow.
rather you go up to the 8,000 pound axles and be able to haul everything than, I'm with you, stick with this and not be able to haul one piece of
Yeah.
equipment.
Okay. Y'all wanna put a motion on the floor to do that? I'll go ahead and,
I'll put the motion forward to upgrade to the 8,000 pound
The-
Approve the trailer in its entirety.
Yeah.
axle. Yeah.
Be the same trailer, just with 8,000 axles,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
right. You're 96.24 with the 14,000.
So it's gonna go up a little bit, I think.
It's gonna go up some.
It ain't gonna be over 12,000.
No, I wouldn't think
Probably
so.
more like 25,000.
All right. I can call that tomorrow if y'all make that motion.
I already made the motion.
Second. Kerry Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark, Chris Ward,
Aye.
Al Moore. All in favor?
we had the garage doors on the fire department replaced, And, well, that may not be the next thing, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, approving,
Okay, the old homemade trailer that the axles are bent on, that there's no bed and all on it, I need y'all's approval to take that to McGrew auction. And then the doors that we took out of the fire station, I need y'all's approval to take those to the auction this weekend.
I say go for it, I'll make the
Yeah,
motion.
I'll make that, I'll make that. Me and these pieces sitting around and.
If you keep those glass doors laying around here flat down, they're gonna be broke all to pieces, so if y'all make a motion, they'll be in the auction set
We got anything
tomorrow.
else we need to throw in there with it?
Right now, that's all I've got up there. Next auction Kenny's got, you can take a piece, to me, I'll take a piece or two, you got something, I don't know what you're talking about, but we didn't take everything at once, we don't ever have enough for a big auction ourselves, but we could tailgate on one of his
No, I
auctions.
just thought maybe we might, I thought maybe there was some more.
That's what I thought.
Now we could take down there with it when we did, and do that way.
His auction's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
All right, yeah, just, I made that motion.
A motion and a second to sell the homemade trailer, there won't be any serial number or anything on it, and the garage doors at the auction.
I beat you to it.
Roll call.
Terry Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
Uh,
Bill Ford,
Aye.
Al Moore, all in favor.
Okay, next thing, the city used to be a member of the drug task force. For some reason, last administration, we got out of it, and they're working with Greg on a lot of stuff right now. It's $3,750. To be a member of the drug task force team and actually send undercover cops in and do lots of things we can't talk about, and then they help, for instance, they get a phone that needs to be decoded to get the information off of, drug task force does that at no charge for us. There's some other, lots of other things they do. I would like for y'all
How
to
much is this?
$37.50
A year?
a year. It's really not that much for what they do,
Is
but
it
they
a
want
deal
some
where
money.
we have it each year?
They're not, I don't think. I think that's about what we got out of it, and I think that's what they're wanting. We just got out of it for 4 years.
I mean, you know, they tell me what they did, got me quite a bit now, even as a non-member,
Just because we needed the help.
because we need the help. I mean,
I got
but I got a phone right now, or a couple phones that on some other cases.
Right.
And if we're not going, it costs me $30-50 a piece to have them done. If we're a member, it don't cost us nothing. I mean, there's different persons, and also gives us a say in the drug task force. If we're a member, we've got say so as far as what we do.
Okay.
They bill the counties more and they bill the cities, are all $37.50.
We don't have to send an employee to it?
No,
No.
no, they do all of it. Well, they got 2 officers that work in this
Well,
district.
They have 3 right now, and they've got a deal going where they're fixing to have probably 4.
And this is covering how many counties are we in with them?
Is this an annual subscription? or-
Yes,
Okay, is it, so it renews each year?
yes.
Okay, so it's something that we could do, $37.50, and then next year we could address it again, is that?
Yes, it'll be on the budget.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Terry Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
uh,
Bill Ford, Al Moore, all in favor.
Okay, next thing on the list, and I don't know what the city wants to do, you need to vote it, the council needs to vote what they want to do, so with change of administration, the water department still knows what to do. Let me explain where we are, kind of, we did First Street, replace the water line on First Street. On First Street, we've got 2 meters that have no houses at them and had no, one of them, the house was tore down and moved probably 15 years ago, and the meter was there, and they put the meter, so we got a brand new meter been sitting there since we put the meters in. When did we put the census meters in?
2008, 9, 8 or 9.
Whatever that was, and we may be missing out a year. We put a new meter and an MXU unit. We've got $500 worth of equipment sitting there that's not generated dime, and you're coming up on the life cycle of that MXU. It's gonna cost you another $200. And then you got another house, I'm just using First Street because I just went down it. We've got a house where it was Bill Ashley's mother lived, and they tore that house down when? About that same time.
It was a long time ago.
So we've had 2 meters sitting just on First Street. Then we've got $500 worth of meter equipment in. And we've got some of this going on throughout the whole system. That's just First Street. Do you want to keep Now, the pros of keeping that equipment in, if somebody starts selling water, you're getting a reading on it. If you take that meter out, we can log it into the ASIS, to the longitude and latitude, we know where the meter
can lock it out,
box
can't you?
was, and lock the meter out, but you won't know if somebody, the minus side of pulling that equipment out is you won't know if somebody's tampering with the meter. But what, we're coming up on the life cycle of these MXUs, and if there's, so we're gonna go down there on First Street, I'm just taking First Street, that's just one street. We're gonna have, those are $180 for the MXUs, I think. You're looking at $400 worth of equipment to put back in to monitor a meter that has never generated you a dime in the last 15 years, and probably not going to. If it does, you'd have to put that meter equipment back in because it was there and the tap was made. And we've got parts of town, for instance, Wayne Davis subdivision, we just got a gentleman that's building a new house in Wayne Davis subdivision. When Wayne Davis built that, and at Tranquil Lane, the same thing, the contractor put in all the taps for the meters, and the meter boxes are sitting there empty at those places right now. And if I go build a house there, you buy a lot and build there, then they've got to pay the city for the MXU and the meter. But they've already paid for the tap, so they don't have to pay the tap fee. And we don't have meters or MXUs in those boxes. Y'all need to give me a direction of what we want the council, what we want the water department to do. Do we want to keep leaving those in there? Do we want to keep upgrading those? Or do we want to pull those? They're brand new meters.
Well, you
They've
could,
never been turned on.
if you pull them out and use them in places you have to use, and you lock it out, couldn't it, like, once a month, somebody go around and just look? I mean,
Well, you're
make
not
sure-
gonna, that'd be hard to do in the whole
The meter
system.
and MXU's probably costing you what, $275 probably?
You're $400 for the meter and MXU. For the low-end meter, not the lockout
You
meter.
know, the lockout meter's costing you $400-something.
They're $420.
How much
A
time-
regular iPearl meter and an MXU's probably costing what?
She gave me two costs
About $275, I believe.
a little bit more than that now, because the cost I think it's close to three, with all the parts.
So, we're looking at
We don't waste
$300
We're not-
every time if something
No.
was to go bad.
You're gonna have some time to take them out, but you still got some life in those MXUs we could use. And you still got those meters that you can, instead of buying meters, you can use those meters because they've never been turned on.
What's the smartest thing to do?
That.
Kind of over our head. I mean, kind of over my head.
Taking them out.
Basically, you got meters sitting around, Alan, that ain't doing anything, and they're gonna take them and put them where they're having
Well,
trouble
right now,
with
you-
meters instead of
right
having to
now,
buy a
you
meter.
can't get a hold of the smart point right now.
The MXUs you can't get right now.
Okay.
And we got MXUs that we need, if we pulled them, we got MXUs. There's still there's so many cities upgrade their system right now. I've got how many 100,000 MXUs are on order, and you can't get, we're getting,
So you-
Brett left, they're getting us enough to scramble by.
So what you gonna do, pull them as you need them, just go put them in where we need them?
I wouldn't send somebody out there and start pulling meters. If you go out buy one that's that way, pull it and pull the equipment out, log it in, you have to turn a service ticket in, so
Yeah.
it's logged in ASIS, so you know where it's at.
And then if somebody comes back, they'll have to pay to
We
put a
have
meter,
to put that
right?
back in at no charge. If
But you're
one of
logging
those
it.
meters gets reoccupied, you'd have to put that meter, because that meter goes with that lot.
So you're logging it?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I suggest. But
If
y'all need
it's-
to y'all need to give, if you want us to leave them in, that's
Is
fine.
there, do they make a lockout deal that you can put in the end of the
There's gotta be.
curb stop, that you can lock out and not have to worry about anybody connecting back to it easily?
I don't know, we'd have to check on that.
There's gotta be.
I would like, I'm all for taking these out, but I'm also all for making sure nobody's gonna be there to steal water at the same time.
We've had it stolen. It's just-
You know, if there's a house that's just vacant for 6 months, we don't need to pull that meter.
No.
That's not what, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about mainly vacant lots.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about going and pulling a meter on a house that's been empty for 6 months. If that's gonna be occupied, we don't need to pull that.
Use your best judgment on that and check on, see, it's smart.
Yeah, I'm with Chris.
I understand why go buy a meter if you can go pull one out of a vacant lot.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and start doing that myself. And you're saving yourself money. They're gonna be sitting out there and
They're just
Right.
aging anyway.
breaking down, and so you might as well use them because we've got several we need to repair anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
Right now, I got 245 meters not reading in the system.
Did we find out if that was because of the?
That we may have an antenna turned over, we haven't got to the top of the tank to check it. We're hoping that that's gonna fix a lot of the problem, because we went and looked today and we think, I got there's 245, I looked at it today. There could be 140, but those may be reading. Those may not be I've got 245 meters not reading in. Some of those meters may be reading in.
$2,000 worth of
What
meters.
does it say, like?
If she's saying 140 times 400, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that even I heard it.
It would slow down our meter buying for a couple of years.
Well, and see if you can, see if they got something you can put in there, like he said, where they can't steal water, and then you got no worries. They've gotta sell something. We're not the first city that's had water stolen.
I second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Okay, Terry Brady,
Aye.
Bill Clark,
Ah,
Chris Wood,
Aye.
Alan Moore, Alan
Okay. Elmore.
Okay, I've mentioned this in a couple of three meetings, I'll tell you the 50 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever, but, there, obviously, there's state law on about civil rights and what you can or can't regulate, all that, and so I've done some research looking at that. I've tried to figure out, exactly what we could or couldn't do. Okay, you can make an argument, on what this is about is that right now we don't have a clear, obvious target in place. Okay, some of the stuff that we're seeing is happening in some of these other cities is coming our way. It's just a matter of when it's going to be here. And, you know, they got people defecating on the sidewalks and the main streets and you know, plugging up the intersections and that type of stuff. So, I would like to see the city, see us reach out to our attorney to find out what would be a reasonable way to put something on the books that, you know, is, to the ones that weren't here at the last meeting, you know, you see a kid on the side of the road, he's 14, 15 years old, or she is, she's got a sign that says, I'm hungry, you pull over there, you're counting hard, give them $20, you know, was you soliciting a minor? What, you know, exactly what happened there, you know? And so you start running into questions of civil rights, but civil rights from a property owner standpoint, but civil rights from a panhandler standpoint. So it takes someone a whole lot smarter than me to sort all that out. Reading, myself about the municipal league, I've done quite a bit of reading on that, and the municipal league said it's an obvious problem, so they tried to address it, the judge struck something down. I want to read you something that I had saved here. And I'll skim over a lot of it. 2020 Arkansas Code, Title 5, Criminal Offenses, Subtitle 6, Offenses against public health, safety, or welfare, rights, disorderly conduct, blah, blah, blah. Lingers, a person commits the offensive order, and if he or she lingers, remains, or prowls in public place or on premises with another person without apparent reason under circumstances that warrant alarm or concern for the safety, warrant alarm for the concern or safety of the person or property in the vicinity. And then, in a form of inquiry by a law enforcement officer refused to identify himself or give reasonable, credible account. Okay, and then the next one would be lingers or remains on a sidewalk, roadway, or public right-of-way, in a public parking lot, or public transportation facility, on private property for the purposes of asking for anything such as charity, give, in a harassing or threatening manner, in a way likely to cause alarm, you know, does our constituents, do they feel safe, you know, I mean, you can dream up all kind of crazy scenarios, but at the end of the day, generally speaking, the person that would want to be griping, unless you got a big outside group involved and it really went to high levels, a person that's going to be habitually panhandling is more than likely is not going to be taking cases to the Supreme Court. You know, they're going to be hitting the easiest target and the place they get the most from. The same with your property owners and stuff. I don't want us to get in a situation where we force people outside of the city limits where they can regulate it towards Bonneville and towards Amity and just towards different places where they get outside of our jurisdiction. So I would like to see the city reach out to Dustin, he's our attorney, and say, hey, what can we do, what have other cities done, or whatever. And really, all I need, it's not really me that needs it, it's just something that I would like to see Billy ask Dustin and let Dustin look into it, rather than have to give an off-the-cuff remark. What would hold up most likely, but I don't wanna err on the side of doing nothing and us have a problem and then have a target in front of us and have done nothing. Because people just, I mean, you know, you go half a mile this way, you're outside the city, but half a mile that way, you're outside the city, or a mile outside the city. And there's property, I mean, there's places for us to go, and I don't wanna see us be a abandoned municipality that's got a bunch of crime-ridden place and everybody else moving to West Little Rock. Does that make any sense? So, I'd like to see us authorize Billy to try to reach out and do something about that, if we could. It won't cost us much, if anything, to just get something, to give our officers a little bit of a arm, or if we've already got something on the books, on an ordinance, maybe we tweak it a little bit, or make sure that, you know, so we've got something we're officers are aware of. So, that's it for me. Probably about 5 minutes. What's your thoughts, or?
I'm not against it, I mean, I agree, just,
You know,
Could you-
extended temporary structures, what I mean by that would be like, say you want to camp with your grandkids in your backyard for a week or two, no problem, that ain't no problem. But if somebody goes to the old Forest Service and starts setting up encampments across the street from you, or comes down here and run a flowers or rice or kind of whatever, and just starts doing crazy stuff, I'd like to have, for us to have something to be able to say, hey, this ain't gonna work, you're gonna have to, or make it inconvenient enough without violating their civil rights, you know? So-
Brenda, you understanding what he's asking?
Yeah.
Okay, let, if,
They call it something else besides panhandling, don't they? They call it panhandling and something else from that.
yeah, there's two different.
okay, can I get y'all to do a
Justin.
motion this way on it? Let's get Brenda to send a letter to the municipal league,
Can we get
rather than all of us.
Dustin.
That's what we.
Lawyer.
Well, I need to get something for him to work off of. So I'd like to get the municipal league to give you, ask the other cities that's got an ordinance and get 3 or 4 of the ordinances in to look at.
He's saying to get examples and send it
The
to us.
municipal league will get you some examples, I didn't ask them to do it, just get them to get the cities that's got an example of what you're looking for, and then figure out that, and let Brenda send that, and you can probably have, and then get it to Dustin. Yeah, well, y'all need to look at that and see if that's kind of the way you want to lean.
Yeah, yeah, let's do that.
And that'll be the first step on getting it done.
Just let her do it. We don't have to
Brenda,
make a
can you do, if y'all make a motion on that, I'll get Brenda to send a letter tomorrow. So you had a motion and a second? Roll
You
call.
don't have to have one, just ever do it.
Okay, Brady?
Aye.
Okay, Brenda, if you'll get that letter to municipal league tomorrow.
Alan, if you'll come, help me, not till tomorrow, Saturday,
You want us tomorrow, say Monday?
but if you'll come back and help me grasp what you want, and ask you.
I just want something very simple, it's easy to understand, it gives our,
Legal
ones that-
bounds.
yes, well, they know their legal bounds, what they can or can't do. Because, hey, my heart goes out to, but you know, I've stopped personally giving money to panhandlers because technically, was there an exchange that just happened? You know, you start getting into some real crazy stuff, you know? So,
If you get that, I think you can get 3 or 4 ordinances from some other cities and then sit down and take that, and we'll take that to Dustin. That's a start. I don't know what to take to Dustin exactly. I don't know how to word it, so.
right.
If there's some other cities that's got it, we'll get some, I think there's some other cities doing this. I don't think you're the
It's
only
really
one.
just 2 things for me, it's setting up an extended temporary structure dwelling for, you know, a long period, too long of a time, you know, and just not having public services available, water and sanitary, whatever, that type of deal, and then, you know, just setting in main intersections like the Y, it'd be devastating if you have someone sitting at the Y with signs, you know, there's already a lot of accidents that happen there, just when we're trying to do that. So just some basic stuff to protect the citizens, because here's what I think is gonna happen, is I think that we're down a path that some of these groups are coming over from different places, not, and that's good, we're a country of immigrants. But some of our, some of these places they're gonna take routes in certain areas that are the most friendly to them coming into. And I don't want to see that happen to us. So,
Okay. All right, she'll get that done, we'll start working on that, may have to bring it back. If she gets some information on that, we can get that out to the council before the next meeting, so we can start looking at it. And then we need to take it to Dustin as quick as, if y'all tell him what direction we wanna go,
You
then
can
we'll
write
bring
it
it
up.
back in an ordinance at the next meeting. May not get done that quick, but we can get started on it.
hey, I appreciate you guys understanding, I really do. I think it's very nice.
Okay. A1 Fireworks, would like to be approved to set their tent up on 70 out there on City Park like we usually do. We've not done anything with that land yet, so I think the city's fine with doing what they want, because
We still got an agreement with,
he hasn't done anything on it, but
And last year, what was said was
just mow it.
that she could do it under his permission, you know, and that was because we had that agreement, and then now we haven't done anything with it, so.
yeah.
I think they're still gonna do something with it, but they haven't done anything on the agreement.
TJ's still leasing that, technically, we don't.
Now, he hasn't leased anything, he hasn't signed any
Oh,
paperwork
okay.
with it.
So it's still our-
Still's ours, yeah.
Okay.
I make the motion to approve their
And
application.
they would pay the insurance, give you a copy of their insurance, and then they give you a percentage of the
Sales,
sales, just like they always do, whatever that needs to be, just like it always is.
yeah.
Okay.
My
Motion?
mistaken, we
Um, All right, Sherry Bree,
Aye.
yeah, Jimmy Clark,
Ah,
Chris Ford,
Aye.
Alan Moore, all in favor?
All right. The next one's gonna open up a whole keg of worms, and I don't know what to do. Lady brought this to me. Our meters, we're trying to get all working, and this is a meter that reads into our system and didn't read into our system. And the lady that has a $69.94 water bill normally has a $2,600 water bill.
is it always not red?
No, it has read. We've got 245 meters not talking to us right now. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that issue, and they're working on it. But during this freeze, we caught everybody but this one lady. Now, some other people had some 2 or 3 days usage before we caught it, but we got it caught and got them turned off. This one fell through the cracks.
So we pulled this one from 12 hours and, that's what we were trying to do. So we pulled this, but we used hours, if you look on the packet, you'll see when she did pull it in, maybe 9 hours to come back. So every person that we got on 12 hours, well, we were fortunately able to call, but her to just post on Friday. So this was one of those deals. She's very kind. She's just, she's just kind.
It scares me to do this because we're not in charge
I
of
understand.
checking their meters, but, I mean, this is something I preached that we're not gonna let happen, and this one slipped through the cracks, and I don't know what, we're working as hard as we can do to get all of our meters reading. It's y'all's call, because I don't have the authority.
Does she
to
live
do
there?
that.
No, it's a vacation home.
So I understand it don't come in every 12 hours, but it came in on the 31st,
And she's reading personal.
and, okay,
It goes back,
go
so.
all the way back.
The first time it quit reading was on the 18th. It goes from the 18th to the 20th, no reading. So 2 days.
Boom, right there, the 18th, right here, where she had the leak. Started right there, 8 p.m.
Yeah, 'cause it goes from 170 to 1530.
1530 in 1 hour.
Yeah. So,
In 1 hour, 1530 gallons.
look on, yeah, page 13 of 15. At 8 o'clock at night.
It shows right here, here it's coming in, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 7 p.m., 0, 8 p.m., 170 gallons, 9 p.m., 1530 gallons. then the meter quit communicating.
Yeah.
You get it back
How-
2 days later.
Yeah.
1,490 gallons, 1,460 gallons, 1,440 gallons, 1,460 gallons, 1,480 gallons.
Miranda, what are we doing?
What was that?
What are we doing on this? Because when you were getting readings, you were showing high usage when you did get a reading, then you may have went blank for 2 days, but you showed high readings, and how did we not catch it? How's it?
Well, back when you first started in office, we were doing 24 hours intervals for you. After working with you, decided maybe 12 hours would be better. If we reduce that any more than 12 hours, it takes, Ashley does all this one, it takes her probably 30 minutes to an hour to do this one. So, you know, we look at adding 24 hours. We could do that, we could reduce the amount of time we know we can.
Okay, I understand what you're saying on that, but you've got days here that showed on 128 at, of 24, you showed that you're reading 1,400 gallons an hour through 128, and then it went off scale, but then on 127, you come back and you still got the usage. So you were getting high usage on some times, you weren't getting an hourly report, but
The high usage ones that we talked about, they came, there was one that came one time, and it was on.
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay,
So do you,
is it possible, could you not, handle this internally unless we're on?
no, I do not have the authority, I do not have the authority
It's
to
water.
give money credit on a water bill.
Is this
As a
something-
mayor, I don't have that authority.
Even though they
So-
come in every 12
If we
hours,
gave you the
24 hours,
authority, could we not give you?
even though that illegal.
If you want to give me the authority, you could, but I don't have the authority. I'm not gonna,
She
so,
would've been there Monday.
okay, if,
Because I did, you would take my.
so do you run the, I'm trying to fill this out here, so do like in the mornings when you come in, see it's showing, like he said, on the 18th, which is a
You
Tuesday.
just answered that.
Sorry, I didn't hear, I was trying to,
what was her answer?
so that next morning, you didn't pull it to see if it wasn't reading?
You do a day range, so we're looking for maybe that day, or like it would have been like the night before.
Yeah, well, it says, yeah, between 8 and 9 o'clock, it used 1,500 gallons, so that wouldn't have registered on the morning of the 18th and noticed that that meter didn't read?
High usage one, and then pull up on our intervals, and then we got 12 hours.
And so, then is there an alarm that would have told you that meter hadn't read for 2 days?
If she would've picked the correct day.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
see
it's a
what she's
12
saying, she comes back Monday morning, she picked Monday morning.
Ah, so it started,
And it didn't come in, so you're talking about if, over the weekends when it come in and it showed.
it come in on the 18th, well, the leak was on a Tuesday.
I see what she's saying.
Alan,
Okay, I didn't,
She picked it on Monday.
yeah.
give me the permission to act on it, but
I make a motion we let Billy,
Just we get one credit, everyone's credit.
I make a motion we let Billy work out the best situation that he can with this person and let it go.
What do you think about that?
What that means?
Yeah.
I mean, use the best judgment and follow his heart on
I don't know what that is.
it. Well, I mean, I'll give you an example. If you got out there and you discovered that it was leaking on one side of the meter or leaking on the other side of the meter, there's some things in the gray area. And I definitely don't want to start a trickle down thing or where you.
But it won't read on that side of the meter. It has to go through.
we had,
Right.
we had
I'm
this
still
time for the
Just
first
saying
time
you're gonna open a can of
ever.
worms.
I know.
Brett's not here. How many meters do we have freezing busted read through both sides?
Sorry, public
Back
now.
up.
No, we had meters that busted, the eye pearls busted, and you were leaking water out. It was coming up the customer side of the meter reading, it was coming up our side of the meter not reading, and the meter was frozen busted. And I gave those, when it's doing that, that's in the meter. I credited back to a normal reading, because we don't know what the reading really was on that. This is a different situation, and it's a scary thing, because this opens up a whole keg of worms right here we've never gave credit. I don't think, on this lady's behalf, I don't think it's fair on her, but we've never gave credit on anybody on this either.
Y'all think we got highway 240, we can't pull in there.
Yeah, we've got areas that we can't pull in their reads.
No, you just have to, you're going, yeah.
We're trying to do the drive-bys once every, twice a week. We're doing once or twice a week. What we vote on doing, once a week?
On the.
Drive-bys?
It's supposed to be once a week.
So the meters that are not pulling in, that's out of the range that we can read them, we're checking that route once a week. So we could have a week's meter leakage on the people that's out of, the radio's frequency.
But you're
doesn't-
reading it weekly.
We're reading it weekly. This meter was supposed to read in our radio frequency range. It wasn't out of the radio range.
I understand that, that's also, I'm not gonna wait on you guys, obviously, if I've got a leak, I'm gonna check my stuff. Just think.
You had this last winter, you had Miss Bean up there, had the same thing happen to her 2 or 3 winters ago.
Yeah, and then we let them pay out their bill, and they fix that too, and I give them credit.
Well, I'm not against helping them out paying it, but I just don't think you can sit there and,
But I think it should start.
It seems to me like the burden of proof, this is my thoughts, the burden, I mean, I know that our rental properties and stuff, we went around consistently checking to make sure it didn't have lines leaking, when it turned on, didn't have lines leaking, and, you know, I understand it's a vacation home and all that, but at the end of the day, the burden of proof should be on the homeowner, is the way it should fall, unless it's a city malfunction or something like that, so, I mean, if you overlook it, you're gonna open up a can of worms for one thing, and then you're gonna have the same problem 2 or 3 years from now, very likely. Or you just try to do the right thing, and the right thing is to pay the whole thing exactly like it is, go that route. I don't know, I mean, as far as me, I'm for authorizing you to use your best judgment on it, and that's just my opinion, but it doesn't really matter.
But he say this, I'm gonna do what the council says do, but it's y'all's decision, it's not mine.
so when did she get notified?
Ken?
So, so I'm just trying to, so like the 30th, like on the 30th, she was using 1,460 gallons an hour for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. It didn't give an alarm. I mean, I'm not.
I'll tell you what, I'd make a motion we do, is reasonable, do.
That's tough.
I'd make a motion that we take the 2,500, or whatever it may be, and spread it out over a long period of time if need be, for, a year or 2, or something accommodating. And
So what's her average water bill?
$69.70.
I mean, if you got a 100,000 mile warranty on your diesel truck, and if you got 101,000 in Ford, and your warranty's out, it's out, and, I got, anyway. We want to do right, but we can't go down that rabbit hole. What's your thoughts, Terry?
I agree. I think it's just gonna cause problems with other customers that have the same issue.
With all the different facilities, farms, and chicken houses, it's
You're gonna have, well, you gave them a credit, why couldn't I get one?
yeah, we just
Right.
I remember that.
That's huge, her water was going down instead of up, that's what it is. And then she finally got the bill for the month, so she went pay it.
This was-
I had $500 bill, my husband left the hose going out.
Oh, that's Frankie.
Yeah.
I just say, I mean, my opinion, like Alan said, I think you just, maybe you need to work with them,
Yeah.
see what you can do to help them out. We're not gonna break them over it, but we're willing,
Right.
willing to work with them.
I agree with that, willing to work with it.
Willing to work with them, what they can, I mean, I think we need to do that. We can do that, right?
If it's a vacation home,
Yeah.
obviously it's a second residence place anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like a primary residence. That would be maybe a little bit.
Just work, see what we can do, work with her on it.
No, I'm saying.
Not- Let me rephrase that, not work with her and lower the bill, work with her on paying the bill.
I say work with her on paying
There you go.
Okay, so Alan's made a motion to agree to working with paying the bill.
I second.
Yeah, but have a expiration date on it, you know, like, where it don't go forever. Do it 2 years.
With expiration.
I mean, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you say 2 years?
Is that?
It's y'all's call, guys, it's not mine. I don't have that authority. Y'all say how long you want to pay it out?
Whatever, I mean, talk to her, see what she's willing to do.
It's a unique situation, they call for a unique solution.
Yeah, see what she's willing to,
So we're gonna give him the authority to see what he can do, or
Hold
what
on.
we're gonna do?
I was gonna do the math on that too.
$2,600. 2 years is gonna be $100 a month over.
Y'all need to string it out longer than that. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, I just.
Our normal bill is $70, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you do it over 36 months, it'll be $72.33, all around there.
Then they'll be spending more, though, too.
Right,
Yeah, but
so,
yeah, yeah.
so it'll be double.
So 3 years, it'd be double a water bill,
Yeah.
It'll be double water.
just double water bill, if you did it over 3 years.
That's the only way I can see that we can.
Unless they feel like they could pay it off faster.
Yes,
Well, they have the option of that. anyway.
speak to them and just, Billy, just speak to them and see what they say.
Right. Well, I mean, you don't want to put her on payments for 3 years if they don't want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
see what she's willing to do,
Right,
that's a good idea.
right.
There you
Right.
go.
Up to, their vote, y'all's vote would be
Yes.
up to 3 years.
Yes.
No longer than 3 years to pay it
Or
off.
earlier.
Do y'all have a motion and second on
I
that?
got a motion.
Do I have a second?
Okay, we have a second.
Roll call?
Gary Brady,
Aye.
Willie Clark,
Ah,
Chris Fuller,
Aye.
Alan Moore. All in favor to work with it.
And we are working on getting meters corrected as quick as we can. We're working on it. Because I want them all reading it. They're reading, they're just not all reading in. So we can catch us all the time. All right, any other business tonight? That's
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
the motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
Have a second?
All right, 7:59, we got a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Who made the second?
I did.
Jimmy? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All approved. Martin has a key. I locked it. Yeah, you got a key. You got a key to that door? Yeah. It was a bigger one, I think. You opened it that way.
I'm sorry. I did, never mind, I did.
I guess you know.
No,
Because you know what? That's not my key. It's flat, that thing. All right.
I'm not sure if they have it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep the camera looking pretty.
Thank you.
Oh, you found here? Dang. Okay, I bet that after I talked to the guys, and he now messaged me back today.
Now, that'd be great. I appreciate it. I mean, I can't do nothing without it.
Well, that's okay, that's both of them. You moved it. That's right. You have the water leak. Yeah, I did that once. New place. I have one wet fish and everything else. I can't get water. Yeah. I called. What good is that do? Doesn't do any good, you got a leak.
It's not a good one, it's like,
Yeah. That could be like a toilet, right? Yeah. Do you hear any of them run?
no. Problem it's all that pipe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what mine is, mine's an old house too. Okay, I'm making the camera look pretty.
Moving offices around, listen, I ain't talking about.
Well, I just say, I just wanted to let you know, but, I need to get out. You did, I'll come back on.
Okay, I appreciate that. You be careful.
I should have much bigger than kind of new back on, kind of dance going on. He said, let me know, I'll let you know, what do they call it, some kind of way.
So they got food?
Yeah, I was like, heck yeah, I'll take some food.
You sure?
I'm gonna do that. What's this kid gonna call you? Papa?
Pops,
Pop, that's what my dad's called me.
You got a new kid too?
grandkids coming, two.
Oh. Oh,
Man, where you at?
Man, I've been through 2 rape trials and a murder, and I'm mentally,
Yeah, that's a lot.
I spent 6 hours on the stand the other day, and 12 minutes was 16.
You were on the stand the whole time?
Stand the whole time.
That's always fun.
Yes.
You got 2 grandkids coming?
Yeah.
Which other one?
My oldest son Colton and his wife, they're expecting now as well. Yeah, so we got 2 coming, so. And we are looking forward to closing down and retiring.
So are the other ones in Hot Springs?
Yeah, they live in Hot Springs.
Well, are y'all still open?
Technically, we are open for cupcakes and coffee until the 24th, and then, we'll be done at the 24th. We're no longer doing food.
We're not doing food?
We're not doing food anymore right now. We got all of our employees have had new jobs and stuff like that, so we're just kinda selling the miscellaneous things that we don't need, don't want. And then either someone's gonna rent the building or not.
So y'all are selling cupcakes up there?
We still have cupcakes, yeah. Yeah, we've been doing bakery stuff. I mean, Valentine's Day was big with all the baked stuff, and then, we'll still do that until the 24th. And then we're done. Be sitting at the house, putting my feet up, well, not really, taking care of dogs.
I was gonna say, it don't work that way. As much as it sounds good, it don't work that way.
No, I mean, hell, I retired once, you know what I mean, so.
You will find more than 100 million things around the house today.
Well, I have-
200 people line waiting.
I have a honey-do list. I have 8 years of projects I have not completed since I've been here,
Well, I understand.
so I have lots of work to do.
I totally understand. I'm trying to work on my house and work.
Are y'all open on Saturdays?
Yeah, we're still open on Saturdays, till like 3 o'clock, I think.
I have a gift certificate that
You-
Jack Gardner got us.
You better hurry up.
I've been so busy. Not tonight, but we have to cut back to the grandkids. Do I need to tell us what I'm gonna need ahead of time?
Well, if you can, so if you tell her what you need ahead of time, she'll make the ones, specifically for you. Or-
Can I pick them out of the window?
Yep, there's display cases, and you can just come up and pick what you want. But it'd probably be a good idea to let her know, if you're gonna come up at a certain time, so she can make sure she has them, She stayed up. Well, got up, I guess, what day was Valentine's Day, Wednesday?
Yeah.
We got up Tuesday morning at 6:30 and didn't go back to bed until Wednesday night, so.
Y'all closing on the 24th?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we're kind of excited about it.
Quality time with
Well, you know, when we moved here, we were retired, and we actually didn't have plans on doing much of anything. And that kind of changed, and now we're actually overextended, and we need to kind of reel that back in. I got a couple grandkids coming, and
Got too many
definitely too many irons in the fire.
irons in the fire, that's what I was about to say.
We're gonna try to work on that as much as we can.
I'm gonna go home here in a little bit. John and Eva are both out. You hear that more detail, and, like the night later, and the weather's been strong.
So, on this form right here, my retirement, where does that go? Did I put that somewhere?
Yeah.
It says listed employee, right?
We need to decide, just decide.
Chris is pretty sharp on that stuff.
Yeah.
Done it for a while. You know, he used to be in the,
Yeah.
he's pretty hip on that stuff, too.
No, I would say, I had a friend of mine that's here, he used to be, he was licensed by the state to run a water treatment plant. No, it's a thing, no, I said, a friend of mine, he is licensed to run a.
But they'll do it right, let me know. Okay.
And he said, it's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And the following year, you know, they do something like a two-one.
He wouldn't need no good with my signature.
It won't, but you can sign it.
Well, I signed it, but it won't be no good. I put an X, you know.
He worked, how much is it for?
It wouldn't be worth that much. But the ink would be used then.
I saw your statement, by the way, Mr. Law Enforcement Officer.
You were?
I said I saw your statement.
Okay.
I don't know if you realize that, I'm not very good detective.
Well, you can't look for it yet.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a tank off the fire truck.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess what I said is some red tank. And then I've had a heck of a time getting him to get there, and then he got there and we're like, ah, I have over 25 at my house right now, so I have over 25 at my house right now.
He done all the tree trimming down that area.
I'm getting a little insane.
All over.
A little insane. No, we were Saturday. Oh.
I mean, what's Brett?
Brent went to a call.
Did you have fire call?
He went to a call.
Yeah, he was
They had a structure fire.
Oh, great. Who?
Okay, it's 8:13. Do I have a motion we come out of executive session?
I'll make a motion to come out of it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jim Clark,
Ah.
Chris Fuller,
Aye.
Alan Moore, back in session.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can't.
No.
Gotta say what action you're gonna take.
All right, we
I know
discussed,
that.
we discussed in executive session about an employee issue, and we've directed the mayor to address the issue with the employee.
Okay, so we're gonna make a motion. Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, that's what happened, is that you gotta list what we talked about.
You need to make a motion.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Jimmy, Chris, discuss an employee issue, and the mayor has the authority.
No, directed the mayor to take the authority.
Take the authority to fix it.
To take the corrective action.
Really didn't leave the mayor any choice.
The mayor has no choice. Gary Brady,
Aye.
Jimmy Clark,
Aye,
Chris Fuller,
Aye.
Alan Moore.
now you can.
All in favor?
Now,
Now you can, Alan, come on.
number 24.
I make that motion, we
I second it.
Motion, Carrie second, 8:15.
Bill, you keep these.
All in
Back out
favor?
the next meeting.
Yeah.
Aye.
We'll come back around.
I don't have to do roll call now, do I?
No.